Hey guys, what's going on? I wanted to jump on here today and discuss something with you all that is it's a really hot topic right now, and it is the 5 best ways that you guys can get your offer accepted in this crazy market, because that's exactly what it is. It's crazy. There's no inventory. Sellers are getting multiple offers on a consistent basis. Prices are being driven up over asking price regularly. It's not uncommon to see 5 or 10 offers on properties at the moment. So how can you structure your offer in a way that is advantageous to the seller, that does not break the bank for you? So that's the biggest part of this. It's not going to break the bank for you. So I'm going to help you guys with this. Okay, so number one, this is obviously pretty basic, but get pre-approved. And what I wanted to at least dive in a little further on that is get pre-approved with a lender that is going to preliminarily underwrite your loan, okay? Because that's really good information for sellers moving forward. I've had a couple situations recently where buyers and their lenders have not been doing their due diligence up front. People getting within a week of closing and the lenders haven't even run their credit completely to see what their credit history is. It's crazy stuff. We had a sale fail there. So make sure your lender is running your credit. They only need to do it once every 6 months. So it's not going to be enough to really affect you. If you're serious about buying, then you need to take that step because it's so important. You can then go to the seller and say, hey, we've had our credit run. We've gone through preliminary underwriting. We're really solid here. We're good to go. So that's step one. Find a good lender to work with too, that's going to make sure that those things are taken care of. And then have your lender call the seller and tell them the full-on situation. Hey, these buyers are so good to go. They're pre-approved completely. All we need is the appraisal and the sales agreements, essentially. So step number 2, okay, this is kind of a few part topic here, but I want to encourage you guys to offer asking price, if not over asking price, as long as it's within what you can afford. And when I tell you to offer over asking price, it's not because I'm trying to get more commission. I'm trying to get the seller more money. I'm trying to get the listing agent more commission. It's because it offers the seller so much greater value than it actually costs you. So say you offer $5,000 or even $10,000 over asking price, the actual monthly payments to you guys is probably not going to be much more than maybe $50 to $100 a month. And I'm not saying that that's not a good amount of money. It is. But when you break it down, think about the things that you spend $100 a month on. Your Starbucks, your this, your that, things that are so much less important than you getting this house. So please don't get wrapped up on $5,000 or $10,000 when you're looking at purchasing a house when we're in a market that we're in. If we're in a buyer's market and there's 9 months of inventory and you have 50 houses to look at and you can get them all under asking price, great. That's a different conversation, but that's just not where we are today. So be prepared to offer $5,000 or $10,000 over asking, because guess what? In 2 months, that same house you looked at is probably going to be $5,000 or $10,000 more than what it was. That's just where we are. So be mentally prepared for that, okay? And crunch the numbers with your lender on what does it look like to buy this house at $10,000 more. You're going to be shocked at how much little a difference it makes, okay? So the next thing I want to talk about is the actual sales agreement and the contingencies within the sales agreement. This is huge. This makes a really, really big difference to sellers, because I've been experiencing so many more terminations and sale fails this year than I probably have in the last 4 years. I think that people's minds are just everywhere. They're going a little nuts. The market's moving so fast. COVID, fires, this and that. It's just crazy. So it's throwing people a little bit loopy. So shorten your timelines, okay? There are built-in timelines in our sales agreement. The biggest one being the inspection period. If you are walking into a house where you're fairly confident that you're probably not going to have that many issues, or if you're really handy, if you have some extra money to be able to put into doing repairs potentially, shorten those timelines. We have a built-in 10-day inspection window. Some people ask for 12 or 15, but pull that down to like 7 days. Get that inspection hammered out, get those negotiations hammered out quickly. You'll be shocked at what a difference it makes in a seller's mind to take 3 days off of an inspection period, or even 5 days. Get that inspection hammered out in the first week that you're under contract. Get your inspector on speed dial and get him in there day 2 of being under contract. It's so huge to do that kind of stuff. Number one, for you, it helps you because if you run into major issues, maybe this isn't even a house that you wanted to buy. But number two, the seller knows that you're really serious here, that you want to get this property inspected quickly, get these negotiations done quickly, and you're not going to be dragging this process out for 2 weeks and taking them off the market and also wasting your own time. If you're super, super confident, waive the inspection altogether. And I know that sounds crazy, but if you're a contractor, if you're well versed in building, don't be afraid to waive an inspection, or do 2 days, something like that. Make it really, really short. Go crawl in the attic, go crawl in the crawl space, take an inspector friend of yours out there. Maybe they'll do it for a discount or something like that. You could get them out there the next day, pay them a couple $100 to go walk. So have your inspector walk the property with you. They can tell you, hey, you're gonna need to watch for this, you're gonna need to watch for this, you're gonna need to watch for this. And I'm not saying that this is gonna be the best way to go about things in all scenarios, because caveat here is if you're buying older homes, there's definitely a lot more to consider. So if you have a basement or crawl space too, there's potential radon, sewer scopes. So there's a little bit more to take into account, but even so, shorten those time frames up if you possibly can. Get them to 5 days. It makes a massive, massive difference to a seller's mind. So that's the other thing I wanted to talk to you about. So this does have to do with money, and not everybody's going to be in this situation, but I know there are a lot of you out there that maybe you sold your house 6 months ago and you've been renting. Maybe you just came into some money or something like that. If you come in over asking price, consider waiving the difference in the appraisal. And what I mean by that is, say you find a house for $400,000 and you offer $410,000. If for some reason the appraisal comes in at $400,000, just for round numbers, offer to pay the seller that $10,000 over the appraised value in cash. Okay, take that question mark off the table right there. Again, it triggers to them, man, this guy is serious, this girl is serious. She's shortened her inspection time frames. She's saying that she's going to pay the exact price that she's offered. When I say waive the appraisal, don't take that the wrong way. The lender is going to need to have their own appraisal performed regardless of the situation. So you can't actually waive that completely. But if you're willing to pay up to, say, $10,000 over the appraised value, that's huge. Maybe you can pay more. So keep that in mind. Step number, I think we're on maybe step 5 now. Your earnest money, offer more earnest money. It makes your contract look so much stronger to a seller. We're just not in a market of, I'm going to offer you $1,000 of earnest money. It doesn't show that you have enough skin in the game. You need to get that earnest money to at least 1%. In a lot of situations, I would say try and go 2%. The earnest money comes directly out of your down payment anyway. So it's not like you are offering them more money than what they would have received initially. You're just saying up front, hey, I'm super serious here. I want to get this thing going. If you're looking at a $500,000 house, maybe put $10,000 earnest money down. If you're really serious about that house, that's another great way to do things. So finally, I added this kind of as an aside, because this is just a huge deal at the moment. If you have a contingency to sell a house, we can make a complete post about this. It's a big topic, but my recommendation in this market, take that contingency off the table, okay? If you have to purchase a new home while selling your home, that's fine. But think about doing things this way. Number one, if you have the ability to purchase another house before selling your previous house, do that, okay? It's gonna be way less stressful on you guys overall because you're able to go house hunt. You don't have to worry necessarily about who's seeing your house, when it's under contract, when it's not, all of those things. Go find the house that you like. In the background, be prepping your house for the market. You know, if you're in that mind frame, get that thing going in the background and get it ready to list. Once you find a house that you like, you know, get closed on that and then get everything moved out of your old house and then sell the old house. Second most desirable way to do things is sell your house, put it on the market, get it sold, go stay with family, go stay with friends. Houses are selling so quickly right now. If you're doing the right things to get it listed and get it sold, you're not going to have to worry about how long it's going to take to sell your house in the market currently. Now, there's a little bit more logistics involved because you may have to move twice, and I know that's tough, but you may miss out on a really great house because you have a contingency to sell and you lose to the other person in the that's submitted an offer that has no contingencies and is able to put 20% down. So scenario number 3 is obviously you make your offer contingent upon the sale of your property and you set that transaction up so those properties close simultaneously. You know, this is just, it's where we are in the market. It's the least desirable way to go about things as a buyer. It's also the most safe for you as a seller. You know, if you're going to buy a new house and your house falls out of contract, you're no longer obligated to have to move forward. It's definitely the safest route. If you're willing to take a little bit of risk, I would definitely recommend trying to go the other 2 routes. So these are a few things that you guys can do in our current crazy market to get a leg up on the competition. I hope this helps you guys. If you have any further questions or want to discuss these things in more detail, definitely let me know. I'd be happy to help you. All right, bye.